natty that year. That was incredible. As we take a look at the starters, beginning with the Anteaters, 5-0, number 5. Keep an eye on the 2 setters. They have a 6-2 lineup. Aiden Rigg, Cameron Costi. Cameron's dad, John, is the head coach at Stanford. UCI plays Stanford next week. Micah Goss and Trevor Clark, 2 really good middle blockers as well. Starters for BYU, the usual suspects, Trent Mosher, the leader of the group. AJ Cottle coming off perfection, as we mentioned. Connor Oldaney, the opposite, has been really good serving, digging, was excellent last Friday night, struggled offensively, but he is bringing a lot on the defensive and special team side, if you will, for BYU. Cougars in the navy and white, Anteaters in the white with the gold and blue. These 2 play seemingly every year, despite it being non-conference now. A Big West MPSF battle in Provo. Great to have you with us. Nice serve out of the gate, 66 by Tyler Herget. And that one's off the antenna, out of the gates for Aiden Rigg, the setter slash opposite.
Yeah, with so many different setters on the floor, it's great because you have a lot of hitters as well, but tough to keep track for BYU. They're going to have to really track their hitters, know where everyone is on the floor.
Here's the Karate Kid, Herget, Penn State transfer, now a 3-year starting setter for BYU. Tipped over the top. And that was off of Tufunga. That is the first kill for Andre Jokanovic, the freshman from Cannes, France. Wearing the face mask, involved in a car accident in the fall. Luckily, he was okay, but says he's comfortable in the mask. A little Rip Hamilton, Bill Lambier look. Gavin Chambers is dug up. And then over the top, Jokanovic. One stays alive, Trent Mosher. Swing over to Tufunga. UCI in transition. Micah Goss is blocked by Gavin Chambers, who leads the team with 10 step blocks on the season.
Well, and look at how long that first rally was. You could see the physicality of both of these teams as we had touch after touch at the net on the block. Both teams are going to really have to adjust their swings because the defense is so strong.
Good serve by Tufunga. Jokanovic dug up, a lot of work for him early. Tufunga out of the back row. Into the net, UCI, 3-1 BYU. BYU has not had a clean kill, but able to get a couple of points here early. And that's what you do when you're both top 10 teams, just have to scrap for a point sometimes.
Well, and at the beginning, especially as you're feeling each other out, trying to figure out what's going to work and continually make adjustments.
Micah Goss rises up, but he's blocked by Trent Mosher. The middle is closed right now to the Anteaters.
Yeah, you look at that double block. And Goss, such a high flyer. BYU knows that he is a favorite target. They're really going to be dialed in there. Trent Mosher doing an excellent job help blocking on that quick.
Taylon Jonathan Tufunga, redshirt junior from Long Beach. Andreas Brink on the pass there. Tipped over. Herget. Back to Oldaney. Reset. Jackson Fife. Good in-system pass from Fife to Trent Mosher. You're noticing that a bunch of the guys shaved their heads. We don't have a good reason as to why they did it and to who did or did not, but it's a new look for many of these guys.
Yeah, and 5-1 start. If you want to credit that, go ahead.
It's because we changed our hairstyle. Tufunga. Nice serve, off the tape. Jokanovic in system, gets it to go. Big West freshman of the week, 17 kills, hit .317 against Pepperdine. Keeps the ball in. U19 World Championships, best outside hitter and MVP. They brought in the best international player at his age in the world to Irvine. Tufunga, oh! Scott Sterling off the face of Aiden Rigg. Hopefully he's all right as Tufunga gets the kill.
You say hopefully he's all right. Anytime Tufunga hits the ball, you're not all right. A little touch on that ball, it deflected it. That's a tough one for Rigg. But, you know, if you're not getting hit in the face, you're not in the right spot on defense.
Keeps it alive. You can dodge a wrench. Blocked. And then Mosher faked that he was going to get back set by Goss and then set down. That was an interesting sequence, capped off by Cameron Costi, the redshirt freshman from Hayward, California.
Well, you look at the difference here. Obviously, nobody really used to the middle. Jump setting back, the BYU block, nowhere.
Jokanovic tosses way out. One-on-one for Mosher down the line. And Rigg is frustrated by the lack of block there, I think.
Well,
and the fact that he got six-pack.
And when you're a wing blocker, it's coming so fast, right? He's got barely any space to hit Mosher on that line shot and is still able to find it. Great location set from Herget.
And Cottle draws a crowd after 10 for 10. Costi never got it over. 8-3. Irvine a little bit out of sorts to start this one.
Well, and I think that's that service pressure from BYU coming out. You started with Tafunga, who really came out and set the stage. BYU not making a ton of errors. They're keeping that pressure on, just not allowing Irvine to take a breath.
This is Connor O'Daney, sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona. And Andreas Brink gets it to go. The freshman from Denmark won the Euro Beach Championships 2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah, you watch him, just that beach mindset, which is every aspect of the game, a complete player, so smart, great control, and great decisions.
And mopping up a little bit of BYU side there. Micah Goss, the sophomore from Santa Barbara. Big West all-freshman team last year. USA U21 guy, real rising star in the middle for UCI. Good serve. O'Daney, D-ball. Goes out. BYU watched it. It was close.
Well, on the spin, you could feel that it was trying to go in. You can look at how confident. And Jackson Fife, very confident on that ball, but as it fell, I'm sure it was like, oh, okay.
Like 2 or 3 inches, jeez. Overpass to Funga! Service pressure, the story for the Cougars in set 1, the OPK.
Well, and we talked to Coach Olmstead, and every week it seems he says, I think these players have another level in the service pressure area because they bring it in practice, looking for it in a match.
Mosher cuts it out there. And here is Costi. 35% service error number, that's team high, trying to keep the ball in a little more. Put that pressure on. Knows the game really well, and you would hope so being John Costi's son. But he's worked hard. O'Daney dug up by Costi. Trevor Clark rises up, the dig by Mosher. Out of system swing for Tafunga into the net. 10-6.
Well, and I think the physicality of both these teams, you see the contact point for both the middles, a lot of the right sides just so high, and that angle is tough for the defense and block to make that adjustment.
Cam Costi goes out. So when Cam Costi was being recruited, John Costi said, hey, David Niff, you're one of the guys on a short list that, you know, I would want him to play for. And David Niff said that was extremely flattering to be considered, let alone that he actually went there, which is awesome.
Well, and I think both of those coaches just so well respected throughout the game.
Costi with the dig, still alive by Brink. Well done, went under the net, comes back over, and BYU's got to play it. BYU out of sorts a little bit, left-handed swing from Tafunga. They might turn this for a point. Brink, stuffed by Tafunga, who says no. The Wasatch front rises up for BYU.
I think to your point, that was a missed opportunity for BYU. They had a chance. Great hustle from Brink, so quick getting that over. But that's a free ball that BYU didn't finish off. And then Tafunga, though, gets the solo block.
His offense not super in rhythm right now, but they're scrapping for everything else. Trevor Clark crushes that one. He's a great story. Junior from Lake Elsinore. Played at San Diego Mesa College. Dominated the region, the player of the year last year. Comes over to UCI. He was an outside. Now he's in the middle and doing a great job hitting .604, third in the Big West in blocks. He's been fantastic. Brink, ace, but, or excuse me, error, but not by much. 13-7.
Well, and you feel Irvine settling it a little bit. We've gone around. We're back to the starting position here. BYU in control. They had a great start. Can they keep going as Irvine starts to warm up?
Ace for Tyler Herget. The first of the night. as the Karate Kid waxes on.
You look at this, attacking the seam, tough communication right there, and then hits that back line. It's always a really nice serve.
Goes way out on that one. Tyler's brother Trevor on BYU's team this year. Trevor's got the mustache. Tyler has the headband. That's how you tell the difference. There's Trevor Clark. Good serve. Micah Goss puts it down on the overpass. Corbin Blue has got his head in the game, Amy.
Knew that was coming.
Just get it out early in the first set, then we're good. Trevor Clark, by the way, is his coach, Dave Proffitt, called David Niffen and said, hey, I think I've got a guy. And it's been a great transfer for Trevor Clark. Oldaney with the kill. Connor Oldaney puts BYU up 15-9. What a start for the boys in blue. Cougars up 6 early in set 1. Chip, they want to play. You know, BYU hasn't played Hawaii a ton. They haven't played Long Beach State since in non-conference. You know, certain schools, it really, honestly, it depends on how you vibe with the other coach and what that situation is. These two coaches want to play every year, and I think it's great. Look at that dig. This is flying almost out, and then Fife didn't handle it great because he was kind of eyeing the line there. Goss has to reach up. What a save by Tyler Herget. Out of system, Oldaney. Reset with Brink to Rigg. Double touched it. Looked like BYU, not simultaneous contacts. And then Brink wipes it off of the block end antenna, point UCI. So no need to challenge for the Anteaters there, as the captain, Andre Jokanovic, comes over to chat with Ronald Pelham, the R1, who's like, no, you got the point, let's move on. Mike Ferris, the R2, James Reese, Doug Swenson, the line judges scorer, Amy Swenson. Aiden Rigg. Lefty down the line and in. Check that out.
Here's what's so interesting about this first set. BYU really put themselves in a good situation because they were able to start out strong, right? They came out firing, their serve was in, and they kind of shocked Irvine a bit, who took a while to warm up. But now that Irvine's coming on, they're working their way back into this first set. Can BYU hang on and take this first one?
Jokanovic with his third, the freshman from France. Oh, great, another awesome Frenchman at UCI. They've had so many over the years. Hilaire Heno, the latest, who graduated last year. He was perhaps the most influential player in college volleyball as A.J. Cottle gets his first. He's hit 11 straight successfully, going back to last Saturday night.
And a good set from Herget. You look at Cottle, you know, Coach Olmstead said something when we were talking, he's got such a big window. And you think about that, when you are a middle, you want to be up and open and available for the setter to set into, and it's easier for Herget to hit that target.
Brink with the set over. You would know as a former All-American middle what that window looks like, and yeah, he's got a big one. How about Mosier with the stuff? Just too easy, just low and into the BYU block. BYU with 4 of those in set 1.
Yeah, Mosier up and over so fast, in great position there.
Across, not reaching,
right,
as John Olmstead told us in our call. Kenzie talked about. And the tape tickling ace for BYU, dominating here in set 1. Connor Oldaney, that's the second of the night.
And those are the plays that are just demoralizing because there's nothing, it's luck, right? But when you're down and you're struggling to get going, it's almost like, come on.
Rough. Great serve again. Aitken gets it up. Brink goes out, 20-12. BYU doing a great job here in set 1, setting the tone. 2 undefeated teams, 2 top 10 teams. UCI not dismayed too much because they just went to Pepperdine and won, so they've beaten a higher ranked team on the road as Oldaney gets into it. And that is going to be the last match that UCI plays in the Firestone Fieldhouse. They have to do some renovations and some construction there. And so last opportunity, a lot of memorable matches in that gym over the years. 20-13, here's Goss. Dad Dave played at Stanford as he goes into the net. His dad Dave was awesome. In the side out here, a 6.5 kills per set.
So
number 1 in the side-out era at Stanford. And played beach for UCLA, so he's got the pedigree. Sean Olmstead told us about Micah Goss. That kid's a freak. He is a fantastic player.
Well, and he could really play anywhere.
Out of the back row for Jokanovic.
You like Jokanovic and his fire. And watch how he attacks that ball. Look at where his contact is. Just really able to find those angles. Such a high contact, really tall, physical, long player.
He's got 4 of the 9 kills for UCI. His dad won the bronze medal at the '96 Summer Olympics with Serbia in indoor men's volleyball. Cottle dug up for the first time since last Friday night. Down the line for Oldani, got the touch, 22-14, his third. And I did get some clarification on something I misread on a bio. His dad, Tony, was his high school coach.
That's awesome.
I said he wasn't, and I thought that was weird. So that makes more sense. So that's great. And I believe his parents are here in town watching this weekend. Here's Trevor Herget with the Honor Code approved mustache. Look at that pass, the one-hander. Trevor Clark puts it away. Aiden Schulten came in to set because .077 right now not good enough, and a setting difference to bring in Schulten.
Well, and also Darcy for the first time, right, coming in. And there's just such depth on this Irvine roster. And all of these players have had good opportunity to play. They've gotten a lot of time, so they're ready to come in at any moment.
We need to ask Niff why Darcy doesn't start. Because he's stinking good, and he comes in at 22-14 or thereabouts. Now 23-15. Why isn't he playing at the beginning? They do run a 6-2, and you only have so many kind of reps there with that offense. But there's the 6'10 Aussie, who's not named after William Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, which is extremely disappointing. Yep. We found that out from him earlier. And he gets his first opportunity, and it's not as lovely as he was hoping. Set point BYU.
Great push by BYU at the end of this first set. A lot of patience, a lot of power, and really playing together.
BYU back in row 1. Brink up to Schulten. Clark waits, paint brushes it, and gets the kill, 24-16. The last set BYU played in here was 35-33. He went forever. Not as long as GCU BYU 45-43 a couple years ago. But that one goes out from Trevor Clark, and BYU absolutely dominates set number 1, 20 phone, and kind of exceed expectations early last week. BYU won 2 against number 10 UC San Diego. UCI won at Pepperdine, a top 5 win on the road, always massive. And so this is a early season tone-setting situation for both these teams tonight and tomorrow night. Great to have you with us, Aiden Rigg. Mosier out of the back row, continues what BYU started. He's got 3.
And for both these teams, it really is, you know, it comes down to the serve pass game. You control the serve, then you can block better. BYU right now serving well. They've got 4 stuff blocks, a bunch of other as well. And then also in the passing lanes, getting that ball up to the net so you can run your offense will open everything up.
Goss goes over the top, but dispatches it out. 2-0. It's nice to have a bunch of middle blockers in this game who just get set super high, and it's whether you can make a play on it because they're crazy athletics. Here's Herget. 50 MPSF and assists per set. Aitken, middle of the court. And how about that by Costi? Triple up, at a system, makes a play.
And Costi's such a fun player as well. Just did everything growing up, every position. So smart. You know, that play right there, very good, but I don't know when it hits your forearm if you really planned for it to fall that way.
In the box score, there's no indication of forearm.
Right.
Just
it's
saying.
A really nice swing against a triple block.
Quote unquote nice. Chambers off of Rigg, who was just happy that didn't go to his face this time.
The right back just getting a lot of attention there as BYU continues to attack and move that ball around. Herget's been able to get a lot of different players with 1, 2, 3 kills, so it's tough to line up on a particular person.
Yeah, he's probably top server. Tufunga there. Back row, triple up, saw it coming. Jokanovic, too strong. Match high 5 for the Frenchman.
And you love Jokanovic's kind of power and energy as he lands and turns to his team. Just such a fighter and competitor.
There's Gus. O'Daney got the touch off the block. Connor O'Daney, a nice addition from Grand Canyon, has had more playing time here. Got thrown out at opposite about 3 weeks ago. Has done a tremendous job. Excellent match last Friday, going for a career high 16 kills. Didn't have much offense Saturday, but he's been really dialed in on the serve, and his dig percentage is really good as well. O'Daney battles, kept alive. Mosier off the block and out. What a play.
Well, not only was BYU able to pop that ball up, but somehow Herget got that into such a terrific set to finish that off. Yeah, Herget just kind of batted at it, but it was pretty nice. Mosier had a good swing.
Down the line for Chambers. Then blocked by O'Daney. Butt out. For a second, O'Daney, I think, thought that it might have touched off of Brink, but it did not.
Well, that's that going a little bit tight. Brink able to save it, get the tool, and get the ball back on his side.
It's Costi. 6-3, 6 errors. BYU's 4 on the service line, and O'Daney will serve. Probably BYU's most dialed-in server in terms of keeping it in. Just a 10.6% service error percentage. Be low on the team, which is something you want. Nice serve. Jokanovic aggressive on this. Brink, that was over the antenna. Right at it, so it's out. 7-3, all because of the serve.
Right, and you talk about O'Daney, consistent, yes, but also with a tough serve. That's ideal. He's gonna get that in at a good pace, in a good location, and not miss. That keeps the pressure on the opponent.
O'Daney into the net.
I'll take that.
You know, I'm anti-jinx guy. You know, we don't control things. If we did that, we'd cure cancer first. We wouldn't worry about sports. So I'm off my soapbox.
That's where you'd use your power.
Absolutely, I would help the world. Why would you worry about whether someone can make a field goal or serve a volleyball in? Brink goes into the net. 8-4. Trent Mosier, one of those shaved heads dudes. Played 2 years at BYU. Grand Canyon last year, they cut the program and came back. Got married, wife Austin, cutting hair, getting that bread, while Trent has fun playing volleyball.
But maybe not cutting his hair. I don't know that she would want to be responsible. Maybe she did everyone's, I don't know.
Yeah, good point. Was she the one? I mean, the way it looked like could have been any one of the dudes, just with some shearers there.
Yeah.
Razor.
Get a 3 and put it on.
I shaved my head in 2015 after I said something, you know, on BYU Sports Nation about BYU beating Gonzaga. It reveals whether you've got the male pattern baldness canyons coming in or not. That one dug up from Herget. D-ball. O'Daney off of Clark down the line, who nearly did the splits. 9-5.
2 great plays there. Jackson 5 able to pop that ball up despite it looked like someone was going to go up and hit that ball over the net, and then O'Daney taking advantage. You see how he has to speed up his approach to get on that and really hit it high down the line. Really surprising that he hasn't played a ton of right side, because that was a textbook swing.
Jokanovic is dug by Cottle of all people. Let's go. Mosier out. Love when a middle has hands. It's a different era. They don't have to pass as much. Amy, you had to pass back in the day. Remind me, were you passed a ton with USA too? Middles in the back.
I did, yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
No.
Herget tight. Tufunga tip. Rig right there. Jokanovic blocked by Chambers, but out. 9-7. He's got 6 kills.
Jokanovic heating up a bit. He's able to get on that fast. He's got a really fast finish on his arm, so he can attack the block when it's not quite formed and take advantage of it.
Rig the lefty, that's in. That's an ace. And it's a 1-point set as Aiden Rigg, the redshirt sophomore from Honolulu, adds to what he did last week. Had 2 aces against Pepperdine. He's got 1 tonight. And the first of the night for the Anteaters, who came in 4th in the country in aces per set. Tufunga smashes it through the triple.
Yeah, you see the triple block up there. Uh-oh, no, I'll just go right through it and blast those high hands. And BYU really has been very, very good at hitting not into the meat of the block, right? They're going on the outskirts at the perimeters, and that's when you can tool and really use the block to your advantage.
Rendering the fat of the block, if you will. Steak. Thrown down by Jokanovic. Something that David Niffen told us, really told us about the character, told him about the character of Jokanovic is at the Euros, France lost. He hugged his mom at age 16. Right after, like, went straight to her, and he said, "Oh, that tells me something about his character, kind of who he is as a person. Got a certain maturity about him. He's been a leader for his foreign team, and yeah, had the accident. He's got to cover the beak up, make sure he doesn't get hit. He says it's super comfortable and doesn't bug him. Not like the old school masks where felt like you had just done some plastic surgery or something." 11-9. Goss! There it is, one-on-one in the middle. Micah Goss.
Right, you get that pass up to the net that strains the block. They can't just release to the outside. BYU really putting a lot of their blocking pressure on the pins because they tend to do more for UC Irvine. But you look at Goss, especially, he has the ability to take over the match.
Goes out on that one, 12-10. BYU won the first set, 25-16. Focus hitting 500 in this one. So is UCI. They're both 6 kills, 1 error, 10 attacks right now. As you see the motley crew on the bench there for BYU. Chambers, one of those guys that said, I'm not shaving my head. I'm good. My wife said I couldn't, maybe. As Brink goes down the line. Gavin Chambers' wife, Claire Little from the BYU women's volleyball team, All-American.
And everything about Brink is just smooth. You see that no-look line shot, just really so much control. He has the court. He knows exactly where he wants to put the ball and has that precision ability.
And you love a beach guy. They can do it all.
Yeah.
They've got hands, they can pass. You have to do it all on beach, just 2-on-2. Schulten in to serve, nice serve. Mosier blocked it in. First block of the night for UCI. 12-12 in set 2. What have the Anteaters done differently in set 1 to be more competitive? Or set 2 here?
Well, I think they've continued to fight and found ways to side out quickly and gotten those. You see the block really dialing in, getting up and over. And although they touched a lot of balls in that first set, it's their first stuff block, like you said.
Cottle dug up. Mosier down the line gets it to go. And that's over the 6'10" Darcy, who's in the match, by the way. So a bigger block up for UCI, 5 for Mosier. It's old Daney.
Yeah, Mosier tiny at 6'8". Just
a
undersized
a wee
outside.
lad. Schulten. Darcy tips over, awkward for BYU. Look at Herget is going to reset himself.
Right, BYU a little scheming on the block. It switched Mosier to the right side and still found a way to get that point.
What was that play from BYU the whole time? It was very simple. It was controlled.
Well, I think, you know what, when you're doing your scheming, right, you're trying to hide Herget at 6'2" to make sure the setters don't go over him and try to find a way to put up the best block you can. But if that rally keeps going, someone else has got to step in and set.
Great serve. This is BYU's weakest hitting percentage rotation as that one goes the way of the Cougars. 3 in a row for BYU. Media timeout. 15-12. Both teams bringing the offense in set 2. It's part of that heritage of great players from France. Hilaire Heno, the latest. Kevin Tilley was a nightmare for BYU, serving the Cougars out of the national championship in 2013.
Yeah, and then went and won a gold in the Olympics. Pretty impressive.
Their dad, an all-timer in France, and so there's certainly a connection there that's working for the Anteaters. This one's tight. Darcy resets over to BYU side. Here comes Tufunga, who runs up. He's the designated go-on-2 guy if Jackson Fife's not nearby. And then that one off of Herget, pounded by Darcy.
Well,
and that is his first.
Right, you look at when Darcy's there on that right side, obviously at 6'10", it's a mismatch to have Herget there blocking at only 6'2". So BYU's going to do a lot of switching. But you look there, it didn't matter. Darcy was like, put your tallest guys, I'll go up and over them and get the kill.
Tough pass, Herget stumbles into the ref stand. Free ball for UCI. Cottle goes deep and out. Herget's saying, hey, there's touch. BYU is going to challenge quickly. Tyler Herget says, nope. Bust out the card.
Herget very confident on that play. First challenge here, and always important as we get a good look at this to see if there was a touch, but you really have to balance what you want to do with your tempo and your flow and all that feel, because second you start challenging.
Yeah, that's a touch for sure. Left hand, pinky, and ring finger. Is it just me, or are those the most volleyball fingers you've ever seen in your life from Trevor Clark? Just bent back and gnarly and jammed.
Well, and also both those players, look at the altitude at which we are calling this, just up at the triple reds.
Ooh, on that look, it doesn't look like it hit the fingers.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. His fingers are back anyway, so I can't tell if it touches them.
I'm not sure now, because Clark's kind of pressing his fingers backward anyway. Oh, yeah. Ring finger looked like he got a touch there. Left ring finger, right on the screen. And that's why they paid Mike Farish the big bucks. He's the one that's going to make the delineation.
But every time we look for that, I just think the human body's amazing, because we should have fingers flying off at all moments, but yet.
Just degloving left and right. How violent do you want this to be? Holy mackerel. Yeah, it is crazy. They're playing the Killers in here. Brandon Flowers, the lead singer, grew up in Nephi, just about half an hour, 45 minutes down the road, maybe an hour. Actually, they had an album about the city of Nephi and growing up there a couple years ago. It was pretty cool. So Mike's taking a good long look at this.
I think it's a tough one. And a very important point in the second set is these two teams trading side outs.
Not as obvious as I thought. They will say touch, so successful challenge from Sean Olmstead. Sean's going with the long sleeve polo over the top look tonight. Unbuttoned. Sometimes he'll go with, you know, like a sweater. You know, Nif typically goes business casual. 16-13. The fashion of men's volleyball. Schulten to Trevor Clark, the junior transfer who's made a massive impact. 4 kills for Clark.
You look at the offense, UC Irvine in this second set hitting 500 as a team. So clearly found a way to get that offense going. The pass is there. They're able to get tons of people involved.
Tufunga off the block into the second row. He's 5 for 12, 17-14. Here comes Cole Hauser to serve for A.J. Cottle. Hauser, second year with BYU, was a Orange Coast College transfer.
Big spark off the bench, served really well against UCSD when he came in as a serving specialist.
Voted funniest on the team. You just have to imagine. I can't tell you any jokes he said. Herget, Tufunga ripped it at the hands. Did he get touch? He did not. BYU's convinced, the whole BYU team convinced there was touch. Every single person there. Staff, coaches, players, all waving the fingers. Oh,
I don't know.
It didn't look like it was even close to the hands.
Yeah, he was going for that low angle.
Did it rub his arm of Goss? Can't tell from here.
Goss is up so high.
Look at these guys.
Shoulder. I don't know.
Did it hit? It doesn't hit Brink. Why is everyone convinced there was touch here? We've yet to see it.
That was very confident.
Yeah.
And such an interesting point in this second set. You know, we're about halfway through, a little more than halfway. These points.
Does the ball change its flight, indicating it did touch Goss's arm? That would be an indicator. Look at the flight of the ball. Is it going sideways now? Oh, yeah. Okay.
You think?
Yes. Now watch it off his hand, then look for, hey, I'm going to assume it hits his arm and twists slightly. I'm seeing a touch there. Is it crazy obvious? I think it does graze the arm of Micah Goss. But I think it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It's got to be I know.
You're right, right.
Mike Farish out here got to testify. Point UCI, he's saying no touch. I believe he indicated after is like inconclusive. I couldn't see for sure that it hit his arm.
So you can't overturn it unless you know for sure.
Yep. And it's not for a lack of angle or replay. Our production team is the best in the biz. We give them all the angles. Darcy handcuffs Fife a little bit. Danny, diggable. Darcy, no touch. We're probably going to have a challenge.
We haven't had a ton of challenges. Now one after the other.
David Niffen saying, you see this green card? We will have another challenge. Is that 3 of the last 4 plays?
Yeah, really. And at this point, and we've talked about, you obviously want to get those points if you have earned them. But the challenge then is to how do you rebuild all of your flow that you've worked with to get your team going and all that momentum.
You're not talking about the hair. You're talking about actual
Yeah, they
momentum.
have no flow in the hair.
I don't think there's any touch here. And Trent Mosier doesn't touch it either, and it's out. I don't think there's a touch. Does it touch Chambers' left hand? Hard to tell there. Oh, they're challenging net. Correction. No, not touch, but net.
Oof.
Not seeing a touch there.
Yeah,
they bundled
bundle.
net into its life, auto, and car insurance. So we'll see what they come up with. I'm not seeing a touch or net here.
Right, and that's why it takes a little longer usually. You have to watch the entirety of the play to see if anything in there.
Which, by the way, the technical rule on how long you have to challenge is rarely enforced. It's 7 seconds. It's supposed to be 7 seconds after the whistle. That never happens.
No.
It's always like 12 to 20 seconds. There's a little contact. Hey, yeah, you're like, I got this card. You little, So we'll see what the call here is.
See, when you're waiting so long and the players start conversing at the net, talking about their day, I feel like it's just
hey,
too
where'd you
long.
go? Guys go eat. Which, by the way, UC Irvine ate at the Cannon Center, the on-campus option, the restaurant, one of them. Point BYU. So a missed challenge in back-to-back plays by each team.
And you look at the difference there. Now 18-15 for BYU. The lead in the second set, just getting so close to that 20-point mark. UCI, if they want to go on a run, it's right here.
Off the tape, Goss dives. Jokanovic, they reset. High for Darcy. The whistle already blew. BYU felt like they maybe got that up. Never mind.
There's no way you challenge again, I think.
Darcy now, 2 for 6, 18-16. Remember what?
We'll see if Fife gets it on his foot or if it hit the floor.
If they really felt like it, they would have challenged. Then it would have been a replay. As O'Daney gets the kill on the left side, 19-16. Crucial moments here with BYU up 3 with 6 to go. If the Cougars go up 2-0, it's not over, but it's certainly something BYU would love to go into the break with. UCI needs a little bit of a comeback here late in set 2 to tie this thing up. Gets to go sky high, bounces hard off the funnel. Good read by Schulten. It's hard to read that, and then he goes out. UCI claiming touch. We'll see if they use the second challenge here. Niffen looking at his team like, are you sure? He's up off the bench. He will use the green card. Confident in his team.
Very, you have to be. After going down, losing one of your challenges, you do not want to not have that opportunity. But I think recognizing this is a big point, and to your point, they don't want it. Looks like a touch.
Off of Chambers perhaps,
on his
17.
left hand.
Andreas Brink.
Yep.
Yeah, pointer finger, left hand, Gavin Chambers. How would you like your production and work stuff aired on your
challenge
misgivings aired on national TV? Oh, look what you did. You didn't do this right, and everyone sees it. That'd be annoying, right?
I mean, right, I don't know. It's mostly a really great swing from Brink rather than a blocking error.
True.
And I think it speaks to the importance. The fact that Irvine would challenge that play after having just lost a challenge just shows how important this point right here is for the entirety of the match. Like you said, you don't want to go down 2-0. You got to come back here, and this would be a really big switch when Irvine wins this point.
Yeah, they need this point right now. So it'll be a 19-17 after, like Farish tells us, there was a touch here. These two teams have played in the fall before together as well. In 2024, they actually played in St. George, Utah, about 3.5 hours south, or 3 hours south of Spencer Linton's driving. They rented houses. The whole team stayed in like different houses. Then they came together and cooked breakfast and hung out, played some matches, which is a cool situation. So they really do enjoy competing against each other.
They said Irvine made breakfast for the BYU team.
That's cool. What we didn't ask was what was the breakfast.
Right. Exactly.
I'm assuming just like
cereal,
mass.
cold cereal.
Yeah. We got Fruit Loops with the marshmallows. Point BYU.
Oh,
what? Wow. I disagree. It seemed there was a clear touch by Chambers. One more challenge left for the whole match for UCI. You get 3. They've missed 2. BYU has 2 left. And that one goes long. Agree to disagree on that challenge. That was a big call, and then Tufunga goes out, so it feels like, you know, ball don't lie kind of moment there, but man. I wonder what Mike saw that we did not. Andin Kiriako, junior from Toronto, Canada. He's represented Canada in the U19 Beach Volleyball Championships in Turkey before. 5 up to Herget. High for O'Daney. Up and over. 21-17. O'Daney, I think, saying something, and then Tyler Herget saying, hey, knock it off. Ronald Pelham right now talking to Connor O'Daney saying, hey, let's not do that. It was pretty loud at the net last week with UC San Diego.
Yeah,
and
pretty chippy.
Yeah. Here comes Trevor Herget.
Trevor Herget, just one big fast twitch muscle.
The freshman from Connecticut, 69 miles an hour. Nicely handled. And then he digs the ball. Goes up to his brother. Back to him for the point. Oh, my goodness. That whole thing was dripped in Herget.
Serve. Dig. Kill. Welcome, Trevor Herget, to the match. Talk about an impact sub.
Serve, dig, kill. Wow. And then he goes into that, but who cares? He's going to be a TikTok star in a matter of minutes.
Sub.
Hey, nice job. You're out. Wow. Instant offense.
Well, and instant infusion of energy as well. That was crazy.
Aiden Schulten goes out, 23-18. Screws a little loose. Right now at the end of set 2 for UCI. BYU trying to go up 2-0. I do think it was a big call to not get that challenge when it looked like there was touch for UC Irvine. Here's Old Danny. Took some off it and goes out. He rarely goes out on the first serve. 23-19. Andreas Brink. Tickles the tape. Cottle! Set point BYU.
And you look at Trevor Herget just continuing to move that ball around to all of his hitters as that passing's up to the net. 3 different players with 5 or more kills. AJ Cottle, 3 for 5.
He's been dug twice. What? And Mosier rolls it way out to the right. 24-20, set point 2. BYU bench yelling out on that one. Tufunga for the set, no. Set point 3, if BYU doesn't get it, you better believe a timeout's coming. It's coming right now. 24-21, amazingly the first timeout of the set. We'll step aside, we got bills to pay. Set point number 3 coming up. Still rocking, set point 3. Trevor Clark. Tufunga, block. Fight back to him, little tighter on the net. Off the block again. Quick inside for Cottle, and BYU is up 2-0.
And again, a solid finish. Struggled a little bit for BYU to close that out, but it had been so good throughout that second half of that set. Saw Irvine make a big run there, and BYU was able to stay tough to go up by 2.
BYU hitting
here, but that is an adjustment because the crowd is loud and raucous and on you, and you've got to make that adjustment. A lot of very young players on this Irvine squad.
The set over in the spirit of Hilaire Heno is blocked by BYU. 1-0. Gavin Chambers, number 17, the middle block for BYU. A little bit sick this week, playing through the illness.
Well, I think the start's so important for BYU. If they can really get on it from behind the service line, they can be in great position to roll in this third set.
More in system on the serve receive from Shane Aitken, the libero, who was asked, what are you most excited for this season? The trip to BYU.
And it probably wasn't because of the Cannon Center, although great food, it's this environment.
It's this.
And really, Irvine, you know, they do a great job in the Bren Center. They
Absolutely.
get a fantastic crowd as well.
Jokanovic on the ace, second ace of the night for UCI. Tufunga inside of the block for the kill. And that's a heady play by Tyler Herget. Tufunga just got aced on kind of a floater. He goes right to him to get his confidence back to 100.
Yeah. Forget that last play, move on to the next one.
Tufunga, Jokanovic. Big brink, jousts at the net. Darcy over the top of Oldaney, the 6'10" Aussie. A lot of pressure to be a good pin after Hilaire Heno, Nolan Flexen gone. Darcy could be really special this year.
He really could, and you like the setting going pin to pin to pin, back and forth, just stressing that BYU block. But you talk about Darcy, you know, he's one of the leaders on the floor this year for the team with so many young players. He's one that has been around, and he has that opportunity to kind of steady this team out.
Here he comes. Goes again in the same spot. William Darcy from Brisbane. Honorable mention All-American last year. He has only blocked 1.6% of the time. That's a stupid low number. Gets after it on the serve, but out, 64. 4-4. It's hard to mix the 6'2" with Darcy there, kind of getting him as many reps as possible.
Right, because you lose that D-ball, right? If you are in the 6'2", then you're only going to have him in the front court.
Out. 5-4 UCI. This will have more lead changes and ties than we had in the entire first 2 sets. 2 ties, no lead changes. BYU would get a lead and won both sets. Dumped by Herget. He does not do that a lot. He's got 3 kills in 4 matches, make it 5 now
And
in the
everything
fifth.
about a setter dump is timing and knowing what's in front of you, really picking your moments. Terrific choice from Herget, who just continues. He looks so good this season in every aspect of the game. He really has improved all over the court.
Specifically in setting on the right side to the opposite. That's not been one of his strengths. He's been fantastic. Old Danny tonight, 7 kills, 14 swings, no errors.
Right, and I think finding the middle, and then more importantly, just decision making, crafting an offense.
Goss into the net.
Well, and how many missed serves have we had already in this third set? It's clear that both of these, teams kind of talked about, hey, the serve and pass game, let's get after it behind the line. You saw BYU siding out at 81%, first ball side out. And so for Irvine, they want to put a little more pressure on, try to disrupt that offense.
Caught it with the dig. High for Oldani, soft blocked. Aitken up to the net, a little tight. Tapped over by Tufunga, still alive. Jokanovic gets it to go. Scrappy for the Anteaters.
And this is a team that has the ability to fight. You see Jokanovic, no approach there, just a step close, but is able to elevate, get that kill, and get the lead.
The lefty rig. Ace! Mishandled by BYU. Serve receive, 8-6. Third ace of the night for UCI.
Aiden Rigg, a big volleyball family as well. His dad, uncles, everybody at Pepperdine.
Matt, Scott, Mark, Doug. A lot of national championships there as that one goes long. He can't say, though, he won the last one in the family at Firestone Fieldhouse against the Waves. And here is Tyler Herget, who's going to work in accounting with Ernst Young outside of D.C. next year, or in D.C. right? Clark. I mean, when you're in system and you can find a middle at a certain height, it's nearly unstoppable. Like, what are you going to do here? It's one-on-one.
Yeah, and those angles are crazy, and Trevor Clark has not missed. He is 6 for 9. He's hitting almost 700.
Jokanovic, high toss, rips into a 67-mile-an-hour serve. And then Oldani smashes that one and got the touch. UCI doesn't think there was a touch, but I don't think we'll have a chance.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, Darcy touches it.
And you are going up, and it's going a little tight, and you've got 6'10 and 6'8 in front of you. You're thinking, oh, man.
Both 6'10.
Oh, both 6'10.
They're massive. Plus,
right?
with the hair of Clark, maybe 7 foot. Into the net. 10-8, Anteaters. Clark's turn to serve. Last year, he averaged 6.3 kills per set at San Diego Mesa. Hey, bro, let's get you D1. As Goss will come out. And Beck Weber in. He is the first legacy player in UCI history. How about that? You always had a bunch over the years as Tufunga gets it in. If you count the club days, you've got a ton of guys for BYU. If you go from 90 to now, my estimation is that your son Ethan was the first legacy player in BYU history.
Really?
I need correction on this if I'm wrong. Let me know, because there's 2 on BYU's team this year. Corbin Bautista, Evan Olmstead, their dads played for BYU. As Jokanovic gets the Beck out of the back row. Again, I'm not talking about club players whose sons later played. But you and Jesse play at BYU, and Ethan plays at BYU. He might be the first legacy kid in the NCAA era. That's pretty cool, Amy.
Yeah.
Ryan playing at Stanford now. Look, you guys all D1 up in here. As Darcy missed on the serve.
Well, and you can feel for Irvine a different vibe on the court. Yes, they're up by 1 and BYU still battling, but just a little more confidence, hitting the ball hard, just finding success out there. This is a moment for BYU to try to slow that down and get the momentum back on their side.
Jokanovic. Now Doug. Oldani now. Off the block, it out. Connor Oldani continues to be errorless tonight, 9 for 17.
And you see the coaching staff for BYU on the side getting involved in it. They're recognizing as well, pivotal moment just as far as momentum for BYU.
Rigg, blocked by Cottle, but out. Cottle read the dump attempt, but Rigg gets the kill. His first. 12-11, set 3. All these BYU guys trying to get out of here and get to Nikos. Andreas Brink, the Danish freshman, into the net.
But very interesting as we were looking at Old Danny kind of talk to his team, that sense of urgency. You know, you feel it. I think both these teams feel like, hey, this is a pivotal point in this match. Who is going to take it?
Mosier off the tape. Aitken, sky high for Rigg. The stuff by Hergen and Cottle. 13-12, 6 blocks for the boys in blue.
And if you want to earn momentum for your team, how about that? A big stuff block. There's nothing better for energy.
The reigning defensive player of the week in the MPSF, A.J. Cottle, had 11 block assists last Friday night. Trent Mosier right now just a little bit off from the service line. 5 errors for him, 13s. Load over the net, mishandled by Fife. Herget cross court to Tufunga, keeps it in. Brink, Rigg, Darcy, off of Cottle. You at least got a touch on him this time.
Well, and I think so important, if Darcy's in there, you got to get in the ball regardless of where he is on the floor. There on that D-ball, finding a way to hit high and use those hands. UC Irvine really wants to be the first to 15 here.
There's Weber, junior from Long Beach. Back set to Old Danny, right play, but hit out, and that is his first error of the night. Took 18 swings. Media timeout, set 3, UCI pushing back against BYU. As we check in with Kenzie, who is in the BYU huddle.
Yeah, Jeremy, the BYU huddle was very calm. They said, we've been in this position before. We're still playing great. We're just having to battle a little bit more. Coach Olmstead wants them to get back to that aggressive mentality that got them here.
Not a lift. Interesting right there.
Or there.
Or there. And then Darcy's like, I'll just put it in. Here we go.
But
it got weird quick.
I think to Kenzie's point, like we've been in this situation before, is what they said. BYU now on the defensive. That's something we haven't seen all night, right? Feeling that bit of pressure. Things have been going their way so much in the first 2 sets. Now playing down, how are they going to respond when the pressure's on them?
William Darcy, I think, got a comment from Mike Farish that he didn't really like and kind of had a little chat with the both officials during that play. As Tufunga gets a one-on-one and lays into it, 16-14.
And what a response from BYU out of that timeout. Pass, set, kill. Terrific job by the entire team to really be in system, get that ball back.
It's A.J. Cottle, the freshman from Provo. Rigg, Jokanovic. Back row attack is into the net from Mosier. Clark was all over it though. 17-14, UCI trying to take a set here, force this 1 to 5, or excuse me, 4. Aiden Rigg, they'd love 5-2 though. The 6'6" sophomore setter. Good pass from Fife. Mosier out of the back row as Chambers drew some attention. He got 7.
And it's so tough in the middle when you are a blocker trying to read the setter, right? When it comes out as a quick one or as a big, they look almost the same. It's really tough to tell the difference. So you almost have to play and know where the setter most likely will set the ball.
Rigg, great play to give a one-handed opportunity for Jokanovic, who had no block up.
And watch Aiden Rigg just save that ball, drawing the block. Tufunga thought he would be able to challenge that, but Rigg elevating the 6'6" setter, saves that and maintains that lead for his team.
Herget read it off the tape. Old Danny triple up, Aitken with the dig. Jokanovic, 2-step approach out of the back row. 19-15, UCI, timeout BYU. Cougars got to talk it over. Anteaters doing their thing here in set 3. Volleyball, this is one of the better matches out there. The other one, Pepperdine and Loyola Chicago. How about the Waves sweeping the Ramblers on the road. UC Santa Barbara up 2-0 on Stanford. Hey, put in Ryan Gant. And UC San Diego up on #1 UCLA.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one too. And so much fun as we get these, you know, before they head into their conference season, all these matches as they play each other. It really helps when you go into the season to kind of look at how strong the different conferences are.
I love some good matchups. That one's off the block, off of the dome of Clark. And then Brink jumped and had no power. Man, that's a critical point to lose and kind of give BYU a chance here.
Right, when you have that opportunity, and BYU again coming right out of their timeouts to get the ball back and get the side out.
And BYU's strongest server at the line. Jokanovic to Rigg. Darcy powerfully through the block. My goodness. Darcy 5 for 7 in the third.
Yeah, Irvine first to 20. Darcy's just able to hit with such incredible angles. Obviously defensively, if you don't slow that ball down on the block, you're not going to dig it.
Darcy, tough swing over the triple. Was there touch? No. BYU with the point. In comes Trevor Herget, who had instant offense.
Well, and that's what BYU wants right now, right? Off the bench, energy and production be a change.
Tickles the tape at 63. Darcy. Off of Darcy in the block. BYU cuts it to 2.
And this is the time BYU recognizing getting into the red zone, those last 5 points. Now's the time to make a run. What a block from Mosier.
Into the net. We needed a good serve there. And here comes Darcy from the line. 8 kills tonight, hitting 200. Team high 21% ace percentage. There's the change up there. Mosier smashes his 8th. 21-19 here in set 3 with BYU up 2-0.
Right, here we go. That sprint to the end. Both these teams in good position here. Just so important. Those last 5 points, the serve's got to be in. Good swings.
Into the net. Service errors for BYU, costing them at the end of set 3 here. 22-19, Andreas Brink. His dad played 1 year in the German First Division. Sister Frida is a member of the Danish national team, and he goes into the net on the soft one. Olhauser will come in to serve for Trenton Mosier, who has the 5 service errors. Trying to avoid that, just get the ball in play here.
But with pace, but in a good spot. You know, there's just so much pressure.
High for Darcy, into the net, 1 point set.
And there's an example right there. That serve was really Kohlhauser's maybe 60% off speed, but you keep the ball in, you give your team an opportunity to score a point, forcing that error.
Timeout UCI. It's a 5-2 BYU run to cut it to 1. Cougars hoping they can take the lead, get a sweep. UCI looking to get this thing to 4. 9 ties and 3 lead changes. In this set, there were only 2 ties, no lead changes in the first 2, dominated by BYU. As we take a look at the ABCA top 10 poll, both these teams inside it. UCI at 5, BYU at 8. I think everybody thinks UCLA and Long Beach are 1 and 2, and then the conversation gets more interesting with Hawaii, USC, UC Irvine, Pepperdine beating Loyola Chicago tonight, as we mentioned, in a battle of every young kid's dream of 6-7. Lewis at 9, Penn State out of the EIVA at number 10. Who's been the biggest surprise in that group so far this year for you?
Well, I think
or they're none.
We've yet to see it. I'm really interested to see how USC does. You know, they've got a lot of players who are young last year, kind of hitting their stride, really love to battle. They were in a position last season where they made a big run at the end of the year, and I'd love, you know, to see what these guys can do as they become those upperclassmen.
We will see the Trojans April 10th and 11th in the final home series here at BYU. Then the Cougars will go to UCLA, and then it's the MPSF tournament. We're excited to be calling that one here from Provo starting in late April. 22-21. Tickles the tape, catches Aitken. High for Darcy. The double is up, and this one goes flying into the nether regions of the Smithfield house. Darcy with 8 kills in this set. Why doesn't he play at the beginning of the other sets?
I know, and clearly at the end, this is exactly what happened against Pepperdine. Didn't start, came off the bench with an amazing performance, but at the end of these sets, you can bet he's the one that's going to get every single ball.
Micah Gossin to serve. Nice serve. Herget. Tufunga got hands off of Goss's hands. 23-22. And Ian Little will come in. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks.
BYU.
Junior from Temecula.
Yeah, going to a lot of different players as serving specialists. Ian Little, lefty, so he can mix it up a little bit with a different look on his serve.
Ace off the bench! And we are tied at 23. First to win by 2, and for BYU, that would mean the match. What a moment for Ian Little to come in and get the ace. Timeout, David Niffen. You are cold as a rock.
Yeah.
And he comes in and just like, I got this. Ian Little's sister is Claire Little on the women's team. Gavin Chambers is his new brother-in-law as of a couple months ago, and he is fired up.
What a toss, and that lefty just really tough. When you are a passer, you're watching the hitter's arm. It is very different when it comes off a left-handed hitter and that attacker, and it clearly disrupted the communication for Irvine in those passing lanes.
He was voted by his teammates most likely to sleep through an alarm. He set the alarm on that serve. He came and said, nope, I am the one who knocks. So 23's here, and some nervous moments for UCI because they have to win to keep this thing going. BYU, meanwhile, is like, warm up the bus. Let's get out of here, bust out the broom. So we're going to have an exciting end of set 3 here. And get that man the ball because he's been unbelievable in this set. He didn't wink at the camera on purpose, but he might as well have done so right there.
Mr. Darcy.
Mr. Darcy. What's your favorite version of that movie?
Oh.
There have been a bunch.
Yeah, there have been a bunch. Probably the, what was it, 2004? I thought that was the better cast one. Or the BBC.
Keira Knightley? Was that
yeah,
one? Yeah,
I like that one, but
okay.
the BBC classic.
BBC. You did live in London.
90s.
You can flex on that. Yeah, yeah, very nice, very nice. 23s. I'll go with the TV series.
Yeah,
yeah, the BBC one. Okay, yeah.
Call him first.
I didn't know if it was the same one.
Yeah.
Here we go, 23s. No one breaks down Pride and Prejudice like we do.
That's what you want in this moment.
Jokanovic tips it over. BYU. Sent over to Jokanovic, and then BYU nets.
Oh,
I thought it was Jokanovic, but it was BYU.
Big play.
11 kills now for Jokanovic. Another look in this huge moment in this game, and it's Herget that goes elbow to tape. Set point UCI. Aiden Rigg. 5, good pass to Herget. Back row attack, Moji's block. Chambers, Aitken keeps it alive. Darcy, blocked by BYU. 24s, we're going to extras in the set.
Wow, look at the scramble play on both sides of the floor. What a block from Chambers. But that defense, these teams recognizing how important every touch is.
Clark, nobody was there. Chambers is way off, just waiting
Well,
for Jokanovic to get the ball, and
Right.
it went to Clark. Set point 2.
You got Darcy and Jokanovic are going to be the players that BYU is going to focus on, and of course, that's going to leave Clark all alone. Great choice from Rigg.
Jokanovic. Zorro on the serve. Handcuffs to Funga. Aldani there, out of system swing. Got to keep it in. For the set. Fife with the dig. Target. Aldani, soft blocked.
This could be it.
Darcy loads up and gets it. And says, everyone just calm down. 26-24. 9 kills in the set for Darcy. 9.
Well, and you talked about Irvine going down 0-2. That's volleyball is a game of momentum and flow, and he's in it.
Darcy, the offensive player of the week out of the Big 12, or excuse me, the Big West. Which big is it? 19 kills, hit 630, 3 aces, 22 points against Pepperdine in that massive win. He comes off the bench, and I still don't know why. Number 1 in the Big 12, 5th in the country for those who qualify, hitting .491 coming in. So he has been limited in hit percentage. It's the 7 errors. It's 10 kills on 19 swings, 7 errors, which is a lot. That kills that hitting percentage. But it's right now, it's either, he's only been dug twice. It's either kill or an error.
A kill or error, but you do want that efficiency and game management to be, you know, right around 300, 250. That consistency of putting the pressure on, and I think that serve pass game, again, the story in this 4th set.
Kiriakou starts things off for UCI, set 4. Jerem Jordan, Amy Gant, Kenzie Daly with you and our crew. As that one's off the block and into the antenna. Point BYU to start set number 4. A matchup of 2 teams inside the top 10. And because the NCAA tournament has expanded to 12 teams this year, up from 9, and 5 at-large bids exist, you better believe a match like this and tomorrow night will come up in the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee's discussion of quality wins, of non-conference, of who these teams are. It is January, but this feels like a very important match and matches for these 2 programs.
Oh, I totally agree. And I think always at the end of the season, Irvine is always in the discussion, as is BYU. And so you're going to be looking to how these 2 teams matched up and trying to get that at-large bid if you don't win outright.
Beck Weber. Aldani with some tempo and flow from Tyler Herget.
Well, it's so interesting to look at this BYU offense and the balance that Herget has created. You have Tufunga with 10, Aldani with 10, Mosier with 8, right? 3 different players looking at double-digit kills is a very balanced offense. 3rd
career 10-kill game for Aldani. Had 1 at GCU, 2 now at BYU in the first 5. Set over by Darcy. Tufung out the tape off of Darcy. The chase by Aitken. What a play. Kiriakou at 5 near the line. And then Tufunga smashes it. Great hustle, though, by Aitken to keep that alive for the Anteaters.
And Tufunga, who had been a little quiet, 3 quick kills for BYU. He has every one of their points right now in this 4th set.
Those are some broad shoulders. He can carry the load. I can't carry it, but I can carry it for you. Jokanovic off of Tufunga's hands. Jokanovic's been quiet the last little while, although he got a match-high 12 kills now for the freshman from France. Enrig to serve. Last year, it came off the bench in important moments. Now, a starting important piece of this squad. Tickles the tape for the ace. That's his 3rd ace of the night. Came in with 2 in 5 matches. At 5. Tufunga into the bench. 4-3 Anteaters.
Look at that, Beck. It's quick, right? He is already on his 2nd step. It's got to be very fast and precise. A set for Tufunga.
Tufunga's like, we're shaving our heads? Sweet, no problem. I think you already had that haircut before. Aldani blocked, keeps it up. Tufunga takes the approach. Darcy on the right side, blocked it out. 5-3 Anteaters. You're probably like me going, what does an anteater do again? It primarily eats ants and termites using powerful claws to rip open mounds. They use their keen sense of smell to find food, walk on their knuckles to protect their claws. One of the more unique mascots. I think the most unique is probably the UC Santa Cruz banana slugs.
Yeah, that one's...
Of all the slugs, why the banana slugs?
They're huge.
Are they huge?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that one.
Those slugs don't mess around.
They just get down. Jokanovic, nice turn down the line.
Really nice turn, especially because that set didn't make it all the way to the outside. You would think he didn't have that shot, but finds a way to get that point. Really good side-out volleyball now from Irvine as they're getting that pass up and running quick.
Look at that
set.
toss and look at that pass. Bumped over. Cotto couldn't reach it. It's the only one he could never reach, ever. Off hands of Mosier for Darcy.
I think what Darcy does so well is he is just going to hit high. You know, he talks about him, he doesn't get stopped very much. The only miss he's going to have is if he is missing too high and doesn't get those fingers, but a really smart swing.
Mosier rips one on the two-step. 7-5. 9 kills for Trent Mosier. Part of the chain gang. The all-time chain gang team for BYU was the 20 and 21 team. The more foreigners you have, the more likely you are to have the chain gang.
Oh, what an angle.
Wow, Jokanovic. See, he's a part of the chain gang. See what I'm saying? Because on BYU's 21 team, you had Italian and Brazilian and Puerto Rican. And I don't know that Mikki Alhiainen from Finland was part of that, but he was on the math gang. Set over by Herget, read by Clark. Tight for Darcy. 5 underneath. High for Oldani. Block was late, and there was a big seam to rip one through.
Well, thank goodness that block was late. You look at Oldani. He had to really reach for that ball. Good thing he's so springy because Herget really led him on that D-ball.
Looking like Clyde the Glide Drexler with those 2 feet up. Watched him a lot as a kid. They had the Wheaties box with him on it, but they said only 2. As Herget tries to keep it alive, Oldani didn't quite get it around the antenna. Anyways, at Cub Foods, they said max 2. You can't have more than 2. I'm like, oh man,
really?
To get the Wheaties box. I don't know how many Wheaties box I really needed as a 6-year-old.
Yeah, but when you're limited,
yeah,
come on.
And let's be honest, Wheaties taste terrible. They just had good marketing. They would have the cool people on the cover, but it didn't taste that good.
I think they got mushy really fast.
Yeah. Well, Brand, it'll get you. Oldani hits it out on the 1-foot approach.
Well, and look at this. We feel like it's back and forth, but Irvine just slowly taking control, up by 4.
Walking on their knuckles to protect their claws, up 10-6 in set 4. Welcome back to the packed Smith Fieldhouse in Provo, Utah. The historic and iconic Smith Fieldhouse, Elaine Michaelis Court. As BYU and UC Irvine tangled. This building, constructed in 1951. We've had some epic matches over the years. And tonight, one of the sets of matches we circle preseason. UC Irvine in to take on the Cougars. BYU up 2-1. UCI trying to get it to 5. They're up 10-7 here in the 4th. I like Darcy's accountability. Oh, my bad, or let's calm down. Let's check in with Kenzie, who's the most accountable person on our crew.
Jerem, Coach Olmsted talking to his team in that timeout about just the little touches right now. He thinks there's some things on their side of the net that they can just dial in a little bit better, take care of some of these little touches, not make the game harder for themselves and not make little errors.
That's a good point. Kind of these 50-50 plays or the unforced errors. Feels like UCI's done a better job in the third set and now fourth set on some of those plays that could easily go right if you don't make the simple play.
Right, really precise, clean it up, better the ball.
And in Kiriako. Loops that one into 5. Chambers blocked. Tufunga reacts. Left-handed. 5 right there. Chambers still alive. What is this play? And it goes out. Pinballing action for everybody. What is this, a nickel cade?
Well, and I think so interesting this fourth set just...
You think it is a nickel cade?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Yes, validating you.
That must be one of my love languages. Sorry, you were saying.
No, I was saying this fourth set, right? I don't think either team has really figured out who's in control here. I think Irvine in good position. BYU does not want to see them get any further ahead because they feel like they're almost ready to go on a roll.
Jokanovic with some thunder.
Jokanovic again, so fun. I mean, let's remember he is young. He is a freshman and he's already fantastic. One of the players that everyone in the country knew was coming into Irvine, really excited to watch this player and what he can do.
Weber into the net. Jokanovic with 15 kills, building on his 17 last week against Pep. And here's Tufunga. His brother Storm played for BYU, had a 50-inch vertical. You think I'm exaggerating? I'm not. 12-9. Jokanovic past the triple block and then points at Oldaney.
Well, I think
he may have had enough.
Well, and when you can hit past a triple block, that's pretty much of a flex,
but
right?
Watch the follow-through
Especially down
here.
The line.
Maybe he's pointing at the ball, but I'm going to guess it had something to do with Connor, who likes to give it to the other team. The sound of the ball there was like a jammed finger just happened.
It did.
I hate that sound. 13-10.
Well, and a good swing. That was good tempo on that play from Herget, who right now you see Coach Olmsted talking to him, hey, settle down the offense. Let's really get some good looks for these hitters.
Jokanovic. Clark. Probably could have got that one with a little more heat. Mosier! Tufunga was running up the middle for the Bic, and so the block hesitated for a moment.
But I think here's the play right here. You feel Mosier on that last swing that you talked about, the jamming finger swing, right? That also is a clue to a setter, like, hey, he was looking good there. He was in rhythm. He might be a guy that could get hot right here.
Darcy.
It might be Oldaney. I think everybody's taking that time to just look across the net.
GCU was known for the chatter, and so maybe there's some spillover still. And that's how he operates. And Trent Mosier told me, hey, he plays better when he's talking, so maybe that's part of his thing. Tufunga! Oh my! Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Well, look at that last swing from Darcy, and then again Tufunga. Okay, I'll raise that and hammer this big.
He needs to deal with the pen company. My goodness. An IL for everybody. How about that swing?
Well, both of those.
At like 6 feet from Kiriakou.
Right, and I think that sharp angle, Irvine has found a way. We've seen both of those hitters on the pin there, really attacking that sharp cross court.
15-12. Mosier down the line. Rig on Ellen. How about Weber at Kiriakou? Back-to-back for him. When Kiriakou stands next to Darcy at the net, by the way, it looks like Gandalf and Gimli are hanging out.
Kiriakou at 6'2".
Look at him in the middle with these guys in the
in the real world, 6'2" is
he's tall.
Very, very good height.
But in Middle Earth, I don't think so. As Mosier musters the Rohirrim. Let's check in with Kenzie.
Yeah, Jerem, you and Amy are talking about that sharp cross swing for the UCI outsides right now, and that's something that this BYU coaching staff is talking a lot about throughout this set, the frustration with the way the block is being set up too far on the outside, and then the middles are having to reach in, so not taking up good space on the court, and it's something that they're trying to solve through right now.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on the block there. Trevor Herget, nice serve. One-hander. Was that outside the antenna? It was. All that from the serve. Trevor Herget, nicely done. Cuts it to 2.
These two teams just trading huge swings. First ball side outs.
Herget gets after it at 71, but goes out. Part of the all-MPSF first team all-cheekbone. Trevor Herget. 17-14. That's an official list that I just made up. Darcy off the tape. Trevor Herget! Oh, is this still alive? Nope, whistle comes. Oh my goodness, Trevor Herget.
Was that an inadvertent whistle?
They inadvertent whistled on that, oh my.
Because you're thinking no one's gonna touch that ball, but Darcy pops it up.
You're right, they're gonna replay it.
Coach Niffin's like, hey, we were making good plays.
I do have a question. Can they challenge that the ball was down for BYU? Like, hey, I know you blew the whistle after, but
it's
off his leg.
That was up.
It's off the Australian calf of William Darcy.
Well, and I think you understand as a ref how you would have those inadvertent whistles, right? It's just tough in that speed to pop that up.
My question, though, is if it had gone down,
you could challenge.
Can BYU say, hey, it was down? Okay,
for sure.
17-14. Replayed here, so BYU does not get the point. Oldani blocked by Kiriakou, who's doing everything right now. Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
And the block, who says 6'2" small? Not at all. He's up and over, incredible jump in perfect position on the block. And Irvine looking to push this to 5.
BYU takes the timeout, down 4, late in set 4. Sort of an emotionless celebrator. Just, hey, let's go.
Well,
he and Darcy aren't like the scream at you, although Darcy's done a little bit. They're like trying to keep the emotions in check here.
Yeah, 16 kills, 469 as a pin, very impressive.
Tufunga tips, Darcy keeps it alive. Aitken, the jump from outside in the back row. He has to, if he's gonna jump, it has to be behind the line. And that was a heck of a set for the 6-foot Shane Aitken.
And it looks cool too.
Yes, it does.
And what a set. You could see Tufunga nowhere near that play for the block. Aiden Rigg getting it done.
19-14, good serve. Tufunga across court, yeah. Team high 13 kills. For Talon, Jonathan Tufunga.
And both these teams, we said, just trading these first ball side outs, but you look at BYU, they're in a big hole right here because UC Irvine right now for this current set hitting 7-0-6. Their offense is on fire for BYU to make a run. They've really got to get after it behind the service line.
How BYU got the 2-0 lead was great service. UCI serving very well. That one skims the bottom of the tape and goes under. 20-15. So now UCI up 5 with 5 to go.
Well, we talked about that offense that you want as far as that offensive production. Coach Niffin said, you know, 14 kills is kind of the standard across the country. Right now they already have 13, and we still have a bunch of points to play in this 4th set. So the offense for Irvine just really on fire.
Kiriakou 70. What a pass by Trevor Herget. Tufunga has to reach. Aitken on the day. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. Aiden Rigg stumbled. May have turned his ankle.
Oh, he's been playing so well.
He's saying he just slipped out of his shoe, but he is limping.
Well, and a player that he is not.
Yeah, stumbles, twists, doesn't look good. Immediately goes to the bench, he's limping.
Shoot, and
he's
exactly, you
yeah.
feel that because you're playing well. He's been fantastic in this match.
So he'll be assessed and helped out over on the bench there.
And really unfortunate. Irvine in a unique situation that they have 4 setters coming into this match who have got pretty much equal time. on the floor, so they do have that ability, but you just feel that frustration from Rig, because when you're playing at your best, it's fun, right? And he's having an incredible match. He wants to be in there. Cameron Costi coming in. We didn't see him in the third set much, and now he has the opportunity to set this team.
In row 5 right now. BYU in rotation 1 with Tyler Herget. So what does that moment mean for UCI here? Costi's first set, coming off the bench. Setter out, 5. High for Tufunga, and inside, cross court, cuts it to 3. And Tufunga with the season high, 15 kills.
Right, and that point right there for both of those teams was so important. What happens after an injury? What do you do? Who's gonna take that momentum? BYU really needed to win that if they wanted to make a comeback here in the fourth set.
Costi, Jokanovic softly off the block. 17, equaling a season high.
And Irvine a little more subdued, obviously, but they've got a chance to rally here around those players that are in the match to try to close this out.
Is Beck Weber going to serve? He actually grabbed the ball when he was front middle. Thought he was serving a minute ago. Came back up. Oh, my bad. 4-point set with 4 to go. Tufunga on the right side. Cut it out.
Well, it feels like this BYU offense just not quite in sync with each other at this point. Struggled a little bit on the past 2 plays to really find that rhythm.
That LTE not connecting, 22-17. Same spot as last time. This time, Trevor Herget off the tape and down. The brotherly connection. Trevor Herget back from his mission to Pocatello, Idaho. Out of Connecticut. Dad Todd played football here at BYU in the 90s. This is close to the tape, tipped over by Costi. Trevor Herget gets the kill.
Well, and you could see Tyler Herget, you know, recognizing all the different players he has in, and it's a different set. Trevor Herget very, very quick, so you can push that tempo for him, especially as an undersized outside. He needs to use that speed. Great job by Tyler Herget.
If you listen closely, you can hear him say, hey, brother. 22-19. Left hand, Jokanovic, Fife on the touch. Tyler Herget has to go to Oldani here, and he gets it. BYU was bunched up. It was the only option. Block knew it too, and it's a 2-point set. Oldani with 12 kills.
Yeah, Oldani knew it too. He's got a double block in front of him. That ball's coming to him. The rest of the BYU team on the ground came up big with that side out.
Timeout UCI. BYU out of them. UCI with 1 more. 1 challenge in Niffin's pocket. Olmstead's got 2. As the Cougars spread the offense. Look at the balanced attack by the trio of pin hitters tonight.
Right, you talk about the pins also. When you can have both sides, your left side and your right side firing, that stresses that block and that defense. Think about those middle blockers who have to move and get involved in every single block. They are going to be late a little bit, which leaves a lot of open court for these players to hit into.
Oh, by the way, Trevor Herget 3 for 3 as well as a pin off the bench. BYU hitting 376 for the match as the Cougars try and access that offense. UCI hitting 619, but BYU with 1 more kill in the set, hitting 407.
Right, and really impressive, both these teams. Now that we get down to this 4th set, right, BYU's within 2, but it's the red zone all on the line. We saw how exciting that was in the 3rd set down the stretch. Irvine, an opportunity to push this to 5, and when you get to 5, it is a sprint to 15. Doesn't matter who won any of the preceding matches, it is anybody's match. Irvine would love to push this into extra points.
22-20, 4th set, BYU up 2-1. Talon Jonathan Tufunga. Good serve out of the timeout. Half the time it's just into the net. Stuffed by Trevor Herget! 4-0 run, 1-point set. This guy is like an Instapot. Just put stuff in there and it gets hot fast.
And for all intents and purposes, that was a solo block from Herget.
Tufunga, a lot of pressure to keep it in here. Does so. Clark, no one home. Herget with the dig. Oldaney for the tie. Brothers load up, and then he's blocked by Costi and Clark. 23-21 Anteaters.
Irvine keeping it close. At a little off the net from Herget. He was up early, maybe hoping a little more tempo on that play, but here we go, Irvine. 1 point here would be huge.
Deep. Trevor, yeah. 4 for 5.
Well, and you like Tyler going right back to Trevor there on the outside. Just getting right back into it. That one a little tighter, in better position. And again, Ian Little, last time he was in, he dialed up the ace. Can he do it again?
Vukanovich and Costi. Clark, and he's going to receive an invoice from BYU for a dent in the Terraflex. 24-22, that was awesome.
What a swing from Clark. He gets up so high. Those angles are so impressive.
Vukanovich, set point UCI. Whistle from Ronald Pelham. Sean Olmstead's got a question. He's chatting with Mike Farish.
Oh, they're arguing that that ball was up, and I don't know if it's too late to challenge, though.
It is past the 7 seconds. Was up, meaning what?
The swing from Clark, that maybe it hit a foot of the BYU defender. But I'm interested why this is so late. Maybe he's going to argue he was trying. But if I'm Irvine, I'm thinking, hey, move this along, right?
Yeah,
this
it's past the 7 seconds.
Delay.
You can't.
And all the momentum right now on Irvine's side.
If you challenge super late after the fact, we call that an out skates around these parts.
But hey.
Ooh, I think that hits the ground at the same time. Yeah.
It's like the pancake.
I think that's
right?
down. Yeah.
It may have hit part of the foot, but did it get the whole foot?
Plus, let's be honest, no one's digging that anyway after. Like, what's the point of that? That is down.
Yeah.
That's down right there.
Yeah.
That's down. It gets partial
forward.
foot, partial court. Sean's trying to help his team.
No, I mean, it looks...
Yeah, but it is icing the server. Whether Sean intends that or not, it is. And he's out of timeouts.
Right, and that argument has some
He does have
merit.
2 challenges if you want it. Here we go, set point. Herget nearly overpassed. Cottle rises up after Herget seemingly takes it away from UCI.
This is going to be an interesting play because Irvine's going to argue that Herget was over the net as he tried to save that ball. But quickly shut down, and Oldaney, a good thing Tyler Herget was a front row
I think he's on
setter.
I think he's on the plane too. UCI will take a timeout. It's not challengeable to look at on the plane. And they can't review video. Mike Farish doing a great job coming up pregame and talking about a call from last week. He said we can't review to look at ball location over the plane. So it is probably tighter than I thought in that, but Herget does get it.
Well, and he's front
and then
row,
Cottle's ready.
Right?
Yeah, and he's front row, so it doesn't matter anyway.
But what a save, right?
And Herget's foot is under the net, but he's not by anybody. So yeah, there are some things in question. There's no challenge of anything there from UCI in particular. But there's pressure now on Connor Oldaney to have an effective serve down 1, and it is set point number 2 for UCI coming out of this. And there you see Rigg with the shoe off. He's got ice on the ankle. You
So
hope he's okay and
frustrated.
available as soon as humanly possible. Obviously, these 2 teams play tomorrow. And then UCI's got Stanford next week. So Aiden Rigg can only watch at this point after injuring his ankle here in set number 4. So both teams out of timeouts. UCI with a challenge, BYU with 2.
And you're looking for a stop if you're BYU. Good serve and then a stop. Slow the ball down. Cameron Costi setting the offense for Irvine. He just needs one kill. Darcy in the front row.
It's up to Oldaney.
But Clark has been wide open as well.
Into the net. Set goes to UCI, 25-23. What a match and what a set. BYU gets 17 kills in that set and loses. UCI with 15 hit 542. Set 5 coming up after the break.
Their rhythm and pushing this to 5, it's really anyone's match at this point. Going to be so interested to see how both these teams come out. I believe it's the first 5th set for both of them.
25-23, that is correct. First 5th set for either. And so the overtime of volleyball begins. Set number 5. They played at 15, win by 2. They'll switch sides when 18 scores 8.
Well, and also really credit Irvine, you know, after seeing Aiden Rigg go down, and to have the team rally and continue to find a way to get that win in the 4th was really huge.
And this is new. They're playing the Chicago Bulls starting lineups theme, set 5. They got a specific video. Trying to pump everybody up here in the Smith Fieldhouse. Great crowd here tonight. Glad you're with us. 4,255 BYU. Always second in attendance average total to Hawaii. And one of the best places to play and watch volleyball in America. Here we go, set 5, BYU won the first 2, 25-16 and 21. Irvine won 2 deuce sets, 26-24 and 25-23.
And really, you know, this whole match, obviously, both coaches talked about winning that serve pass game. Wow, a 5th set is all about the serve. It's getting that serve in and really controlling the pass to try to find those quick ways to score.
Here comes the rock.
And also see if BYU can use this amazing crowd as well. Couple points every match come down to that fire from the crowd.
And then Kiriakou has been tremendous off the bench. Good pass from Fife. AJ Cotto rises up, kept alive by Darcy. Free ball. And then Herget just kind of pushes it over for the kill.
Yeah, maybe the punch. There's your wax on, wax off.
There it
right?
is. Danielson. Here's Trevor Herget. Going to stay in the rotation here. 66. Costi, D-ball, Darcy blocks it out.
Yeah,
As Darcy says, calm down, everybody.
It was good, and that set, you know, not exactly allowing him to get the approach he wanted. He had to really speed up, but using that block out of bounds. Great job as both these teams quick on the scoreboard.
Weber. Oldaney. 13 for Connor.
And interesting, you know, for BYU to keep Trevor Herget in at this point. Obviously doing a great job coming off the bench, but electing, you know, to keep him in and have Mosier, who is by, you know, all accounts their leader, on the sideline.
Jokanovic is blocked. That's just the second error of the night for him. Gavin Chambers coming up big, 3-1, adding to a career-high block total for Gavin of 7.
Chambers up and over, using that size that he has to take control, a much-needed point, because that gets in the head a little bit of the hitter.
3-1, here pin drop in here. Clark, off the block. Aubrey Rushing, the director of operations for the men's volleyball team, just came over and gave some of the energy gummies. So why don't you try this? This is a tradition. If they go 5, they get these. We need an energy too.
Oh, fun.
And she did hand it to me and said, for Steve.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because Steve would enjoy these a lot too. As Tufunga hits it down the line.
Oh, that was sweet.
So during a break, because no one wants to hear, so BYU makes these.
That's awesome.
They're so good. I'll be up all night if I consume just one. So that's,
really?
We got to be kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Those
4-2.
kind of gummies, huh?
No, not around here. I like my job. I want to keep it. O'Daney with the stuff on Darcy. 5-2.
And what a time for the BYU block to come alive. 2 big plays for the Cougars to be first.
Timeout, UCI. Every point critical in the 5th, and BYU jumps out 5-2. Don't go anywhere.
I think I took a little bite. They're very tart. And like you said, energy gummies mean just sugar rush.
Chase Davidson, our stats guy's
cool.
like, can I have some more?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, you get like 2, dude. Like, we need. Here, have another one. 5-2. Costi, Clark, one-on-one with Chambers in the middle. Clark came in hitting what felt like a million. 6:04.
Great response, right, from Irvine right out of that timeout. Perfect pass, first ball kill, right in this.
Vukanovich curls one over. O'Daney off the block on the left side. Interesting that Mosier's out.
Yeah.
We know that Mosier has had kind of a sore knee, so maybe Trevor Herget, with the duration of this, getting the opportunity there. But it's not like Mosier has stunk it up. He's hitting .409. Trevor Herget in the match in Mosier's place right now. 6-3. Tufunga high, far toss. Aitken handles it well. Koski, Clark, 5 back over. Clark again, he's so quick.
Well, and look at this, right? In the 5th set, who would have thought that that go-to player for Irvine is Clark, and they're getting him the ball as often as they can, and he's delivering.
High for O'Daney, one-on-one. Went up and over Kiriakou.
Good set again from Herget there. Isolating, good choice for O'Daney. A one-on-one block, you should get that kill every time.
O'Daney loves him some Friday Night Volleyball. Last week,
That's
16
right.
kills, tonight
Right.
15.
He's got the
7-4.
gummies.
Electrolyte energy gummies from BYU. Cape Tickler, nearly an ace. Free ball coming up from Vukanovich. High and deep to Hauser, who takes it with hands. O'Daney through the block. Off the net and down. 8-4. They'll switch sides. O'Daney pumping up the crowd. Cougars rallying 4,200 strong in their fortress in Provo.
And we talked earlier before this 5th set how the crowd might just be that 7th man for BYU, getting them involved as BYU continues to go on a roll. The crowd just helps all the more.
Roy hitting 857,
Yikes.
607.
With no
UCI
errors.
286. Yep.
Really impressive 5th set for BYU. Tyler Herget doing an excellent job in those passers, keeping that ball up at the net, allowing them to run the offense.
Tyler Moroz, Xavier State, 2 of the basketball players behind Cole Hauser there. They're taking on Utah tomorrow afternoon on Fox and BYU Radio. Look at that. Over the top of the block for Darcy. Out of the back row, Tufunga gets it to go. 9-4.
Well, I think also watch this from Tufunga. Obviously, he finishes strong, but it was that dig to really get that play going and keep it alive, creating opportunities for his team.
3-0 run, career high 17 for Tufunga. Kiriakou. Vukanovich, Tyler Herget with the dig. This is over to Darcy, who puts it down. And Cottle stumbles. Luckily, he's all right, 9-5.
And throwing that ball on top of the net for a joust with Will Darcy is not what you want to see.
Darcy's going to come out. Schulten will come in to serve. So they're taking that D ball out. And yeah, Schulten will be the setter here. Takes a step, tosses, good serve, 64. Down the line and in for Connor Oldaney. A new career high, 17 for him. So career highs for Tufunga and Oldaney in kills tonight.
This fifth set for BYU has been unreal offensively. Just an incredible performance by this team to bounce back after losing the third and the fourth.
He unloads on it, out. BYU up by 4 with 5 to go here in the fifth. Glad you're enjoying this one on a Friday night in Provo. In a top 10 matchup. Same two teams tomorrow night. 9 Eastern on Big Ten Plus and the BYU TV app as well. Kiriakou. Nice serve by him again. He's been awesome. Cottle is blocked by Weber in the middle. 2 in a row from UCI, 10-7.
Great job from Weber to be all over that play. Cottle isn't stopped very much, but Weber read that ball so well.
First hitting error for A.J. Cottle in a couple of matches. It's 15 for 20, no errors the last 2 as that one goes long. UCI cannot afford to have any service errors right now. But it's got to all be in.
And that pressure, though, they have been bombing those jump serves. BYU somehow handling them and able to side out.
Speaking of pressure, here's Trevor Herget, one of BYU's best servers, if not its best server. Tickles the tape. Tight. Wiped off the block. Given to UCI for Jokanovic. BYU for a second. Oh, they are. I think they are going to challenge something. They're challenging that there wasn't a touch.
I think it would have to have been off of Herget's pinky because he was really reaching inside.
He's saying there wasn't. Otherwise, why challenge? Does it hit Herget?
Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who's going to lose this? They have, you each get one extra challenge in the fifth. So right now UCI has 2 and BYU back up to 3.
And that'll be a quick one. I think BYU wanted to really slow down. Yeah, Sean knows. He's like, I was just calling a timeout.
Yeah, it's just good. He has 2 timeouts though.
Yeah,
and if the team
may use them.
Yeah, if the team's yelling at you that they didn't touch it, it's like, he did. There's Weber. 11-8. We're trying to hold on here. Trevor to Tyler Herget. Trevor Herget out of the back row. Well, this guy's a high flyer.
Well, and I think A.J. Cottle getting blocked. Yes, that hurt, but watch how he drew 2 blockers, allowed Herget everything to hit into on that court. Great job by the middle, and great set from Herget to open up. Number 4 in the back.
They have not dug him a single time, and they blocked him once in 6 attacks. He's got 5 kills and some really good serves. Here's Ian Little, has an ace. BYU up 12-8, they played at 15. Schulten. Still alive. What a save by Trevor Herget. Tufunga off the block. Tufunga hits it out. 12-9. Crowd leaning on the moment of a kill. How close was it?
Great defensive work. You see Tufunga has a little opening down the line, but just cuffs it and misses that sideline. UC Irvine in good position here. Darcy rotating back into the front row. Cameron Costi back in to run the offense.
And that is as big of a front row as you can possibly get. 6'10", 6'10", 6'7" for UCI. Cameron Costi on the serve. Son of Stanford head coach John Costi. Tight, set over, still alive, hittable, out of system for Tufunga. Aitken on the dig. Costi. Jokanovic cuts it to 2, 12-10.
Yeah, I think
BYU timeout.
For sure wants a timeout. Slow down this train, Irvine. Such an incredible comeback. They have been battling all night long, and now they've got a little momentum. Can they turn it around and tie this up?
Career high 19 for Andre Jokanovic, the freshman from France. BYU uses its first timeout. In this battle of unbeatens, BYU won the first 2 sets, UCI the next 2. And here we are in the 5th. BYU with a couple of errors here recently, still hitting 500 in the set. UC Irvine 357. And back and forth they go. Cougars have done a nice job in this 5th set, pushing the pedal down, led it 10-5. UCI cutting it to 2 here late.
Well, and just surprising, these 2 teams are going to face each other tomorrow. What are they going to have left?
Can't wait. It's a unique setup. Hawaii kind of the other team that does this. Given the travel, you come here, you kind of play 2. And so next year, BYU will go to Irvine and play 2 in the Brand. 12-10, BYU in the 5th. Some anxious moments for both teams in their first 5th set of the year.
And again, Trent Mosier not in for BYU. I think that's such an interesting move. Obviously,
I'm guessing it's the knee soreness.
Yeah, Trevor Herget doing a great job. The freshman in territory he's not used to.
Trevor Herget blocked for a second time. And we are down to 1 point. BYU's 5-point advantage has shriveled. And UCI on the verge of tying this late in set 5.
Well, and I think this ball for BYU has got to go to Tafunga. That's going to be the player that has carried them and should see this set.
Fife diving serve receive. There it is. Aitken, Clark taps. BYU into the net. Gavin Chambers called for it, and we are tied at 12. 4-0 UCI run. Ooh, just grazed it, but he did. Cam Costi. At 5. Pulls Herget out. Tipped by Tafunga, and he's blocked by Clark. UCI's taking the lead on a 5-0 run. Final timeout for the Cougars.
Wow, what a run from the Anteaters. And yeah, they have fought back. They lost the first 2, win the 3rd, win the 4th. Can they reverse sweep the Cougars?
They are in control right now. 13-12. Look at Jackson Fife. Bernardo Adam coming over and kind of touching everyone's head. You got this, you got this. And BYU will talk it over. It is quiet in here after BYU led 2-0. They jumped out 10-5 in this 5th set. And now UCI feeling pretty good. Jokanovic, the freshman, is the one chatting with the team right now, which shows his leadership.
Well, and when we talked to Coach Niffen, he said every guy on this team is an assistant coach. You know, they do so much work on and off the floor in leading this team. But so impressive. I think if you're BYU, you're trying to draw up a quick first ball kill. But you said it, Jerem, the Irvine has quieted this crowd. They are the ones in control here. And Cameron Costi put together a really nice service run coming off the bench to keep his team going on this run.
That was John Stanley, former Cougar, in the crowd, enjoying this one. 13-12 UC Irvine. Both teams undefeated in the top 10 in the country. First 5th set for both. UCI is pumped. Cam Costi. Right at 5 again. Tyler Herget one-on-one. Tafunga gets the kill off of Clark. We're tied at 13s, and we will have 3 straight deuce sets to end this match.
Jackson Fife stepping in. He had definitely been targeted on that, but nails that pass. Allows BYU another chance.
It's the Karate Kid, Tyler Herget. Kiriakou on the pass. Clark detonates. Match point UCI.
And BYU, obviously you're not going to double block here with the pins that Irvine has, but no one can stop Clark. What a swing.
Match point, Jokanovic. Tafunga is blocked by Clark, and that'll do it. The Anteaters reverse sweep BYU 15-13 in the 5th. Clark has back-to-back points to seal it for UCI. What a match, what a comeback.
And such a huge team effort for Irvine to fight back in enemy territory, going down 2-0 and then fighting their way back in, losing their setter, Aiden Rigg going down, but then rallying to come back and beat a very good Cougar team who was on fire offensively in the 5th set. But Irvine found a way.
How about the solo block by Clark, too, to end things? And yeah, they had to go overcome the injury to Rigg, and BYU was on fire. Rigg can't even go through the line with that injured ankle. He is on the bench, so waiting for his teammates to come over and dap him up. A tough one for BYU. At home, up 2-0, 3 straight deuce sets. So UCI gets beaten by 9 and 4. They're minus 13 in the first 2. And then they win 3 straight deuce sets. Just tight, important sets to come out of here. They get at least a split in Provo, which is hard to do. But UCI has now won 5 in a row in this gym. A place where they won the 2009 national title. Good vibes for David Niffen and these Anteaters.
What an incredible effort from this team, who is coming off a big upset against number 4 Pepperdine, and now comes in to the field house to get a win.
Nice win by David Niffen, and he's saying, hey, Andre, go do the interview with Kenzie.